Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight a very special French oak episode. It's Penelope Estate Collection Omega. Oh, look. Those of you that watch the channel a long time know my thoughts about Penelope. Kind of sucks. Just as a whole. You know, a lot of you are going to disagree with that. That's totally fine. Okay, now, let's take a step back. Penelope itself was always an NDP sourcing from MGP. And they always just kind of put forth young MGP that wasn't that great for the price. A couple years ago, Penelope did a good thing. They got bought by their provider, MGP. So they're now owned by MGP, which means they should be putting out the best barrels of MGP, right? And I don't know if that's true or not. But this year in 2025, there's two Penelopes. There's the Founders 13-year, and then there's this 11-year-old Omega. And it says straight bourbon whiskey finished in French oak barrels. So that's right. Estate Collection, which is like their BTAC, if you will. 11-year-old Omega finished in French oak barrels. Boy, that sounds good. 109.8 proof, compute, 54.9% alcohol by volume. Nice proof. You know, at first glance, you're like, okay, this is MGP finished in French oak. That could be very interesting. But you gotta look at the fucking back of the bottle. Because a lot of YouTube reviewers have not been paying the fuck attention. And they look at the back. And the back here says, distilled in goddamn Bardstown, Kentucky. Is that MGP? Fuck no, it's not. This is Heaven Hill. You know it's Heaven Hill because on the side over here it says, Penelope Omega, in a testament to precision and craftsmanship, finished in barrels crafted with a blend of rare, tight grain French oak staves, matured for 3 years. And selected using oak scan technology. That's from their damn, the blue labels, the architects. This release embodies a balance and refinement. A specialized toast enhances integration, delivering a bold, timeless experience. Mash bill, 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley, non-chill filtered, aged 11 years. This is Heaven Hill. So why the hell is Penelope, owned by MGP, doesn't have enough of their own 11-year-old barrels to finish in French oak? Seems stupid to me. But hey, Heaven Hill puts out sometimes good stuff, so we're curious about that. Price $130 hairs a bottle, little expensive, but it's 11 year. You know, the price is not too shabby really. 11 years total aging. It's finished. It's not barrel proof. $130, okay, you know, it's fine. $129.99. $130 hairs. Fine. What the hell does this release sound like, though? Tight grain French oak. Let me give you a second to think. It sounds like Bombergers PFG, precision fine grain, which is also finished in French oak. But you know what Bombergers didn't do? They charged you more, $140 to $150 hairs a bottle for that. Also didn't give an age statement. They only gave you like, oh, those staves were air dried for 40 months before using. This one tells you straight up, 3 years aged in the French oak. So it's an 8-year bourbon aged for 3 years in French oak. Pretty cool. So look, as much as I gave Penelope shit in the past, they're pretty transparent here. Okay, this is an 11-year total aged bourbon, aged for 3 years in the secondary cask. Pretty cool. Tell you the mash bill, let you know it's Bardstown. You know, it's Heaven Hill. $130 a bottle isn't bad. You know, with what we're seeing on paper. Okay. All that being said, this was a fresh crack. Let it rest about an hour 15 in the glass. Color, medium. Medium color. On the nose. Oh, smells pretty good. Smells pretty good. Get a little bit of oak, which I'm happy to see at 11 years old. There's also some like cherry, strawberry. Maybe like a raspberry chocolate note, spicy. What a spice. That's that French oak right there, everybody. It's adding like a red fruit component on top of, like, you know, just a normal bourbon with some caramel, some vanilla, some baking spices, and a little bit of oak in there because she's 11 years old. Smells pretty good. Smells pretty good. Down the hatch. Oh man, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. We get the oak, the caramel, and a good bit of red fruits here. Cherry, strawberry, a little bit spicy on the back end, but not as spicy as I would have thought. I would have thought a lot of baking spice. I don't necessarily get that on this. Maybe that's just me. Negatives, it's a little thin. Little thin and watery on the mouthfeel. And I'll say this, it's got good notes and good flavor, but it's not amazingly put together story, right? Like, you start with the oak and the caramel of the base 11 year, and it's like a sharp cutoff, and then there's the fruit and the French oak, part of it. And that's good. They're both good, but like, it's a sharp, abrupt transition from the oak to the fruit. It should kind of like flow in nice, and it doesn't. It's a little sharp. Does it feel like 3 years in French oak? No. It's a good finish. Doesn't feel overdone. So if you're worried about that, I'd say don't. Is it worth $130? That's debatable. I think it's a good $100 bottle. I'm struggling with like the $130, and that's where I'm at. Is it a horrible value? No, it's not. So grade tonight, B+. I think it's pretty good. Penelope did a pretty good transparent job, and the sip's pretty good. So we're not going to complain about it really at all, except price could be a touch lower, I guess. But they did finish it, so I'm not too hard on the price, to be honest. But I thought I would be getting more from an estate collection. Like this is BTAC level, if you will. Now, special shout out to Cam from Drums and Drams, and I'm still milking this sample, and this is the last of this sample, but I thought it was worthy to use it tonight. We do have a sample of the Bombergers PFG, Precision Fine Grain, which is also finished in French oak. It's like 100.8 proof, a little bit lower proof, 101, something like that. It's a lower proof. Color though on the Bombergers PFG is like way darker. Like here, like shades darker on the Bombergers. And I'm going to fault the Bombergers for being a little bit more expensive, right? No age statement. Fuck them. What are you doing, Mictors? You sons of bitches. But I did love the Bombergers PFG. Except, wasn't necessarily better than a Peerless Double Oak Bourbon. But Peerless Double Oak is 2 American oak barrels. PFG is the second is a specially toasted and charred French oak. And the secondary on this is specially toasted and charred French oak. So, like, this is very comparable to Bomberger's PFG on paper. And the Penelope gives you an age statement, so we got to give them credit for that. And it's cheaper. So we just can't say enough good things on paper about the Penelope here. All right, Bomberger's PFG on the nose. Here we go. Oh, man. Man, this smells more like a double oak, though. There's cherry here, like plum, raisin, date, a lot of oak, but not well-aged oak like we were getting on the... Oh, man, this is more of a double oak nose. It smells younger, but like the finishing is... Man, I don't know. I might like this better. Penelope? Penelope smells so much older and a little bit nutty now, which is the Heaven Hill. Man. Wildly different for being kind of the same on paper. If you like a bold double oak flavor, the Bombergers PFG delivers. If you want a little bit more maturity, the Penelope smells older. It does have this well-seasoned, well-aged oak to it. Down the hatch on the Bombergers PFG. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bombergers has this chocolate, like oak woodiness. Like cherry. Feels thicker, yet also has a short finish. It's a short finish. At only 100 some proof on the Bombergers. All right, back to the Penelope. Penelope smells way older, but it's not a brash double oak nose like the PFG. Down the hatch. Oh. A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens here. I think the Penelope's better. And it pains me to say that. I don't like Michter's either, though. So this is like two brands I don't really care for, but the Penelope's better. The age here is fucking apparent on the Penelope Omega. Okay, but these are vastly different. And I wouldn't have thought that. So this is your comparison for the night. Well, we'll do one more because, you know, I like to help you out. But guys, listen up. Bombergers PFG drinks more like a Peerless Double Oak or like a Copper and Cask Double Oak, right? It doesn't drink old, but it drinks punchy in its double oak flavors, right? And the French oak component, I guess, is there, but doesn't really, like, I don't know, you know, whatever for the French oak component on the Bombergers PFG. I really dig it. The Penelope, though, is cheaper. And also is in French oak, but it's just so much older because there's the sweet old oak bourbon on there when you do the comparison in terms of flavors. But like the finishing doesn't hit you as hard of the secondary barrel. Like it's there, but doesn't hit you as hard. But the Penelope Omega is a good sit. And it's a better buy because we're getting an age statement and it is older tasting. But there's something so rich about the Bombergers PFG. Like, they're totally different, yet on paper, they're almost equals because the aged oak in the Omega makes up for its lack of just punchy double oak delivery that the PFG has. PFG is not going to be for everyone. Neither really is the Penelope Omega, but I think the Penelope Omega just, although it's finished for 3 years, feels less finished than the Bombergers PFG. Although we don't know what the Bombergers PFG total age is or its finishing time, to be honest. But yeah, I'm gonna give the nod to the Penelope Omega, but it's a real slight nod. You know, like it's not. I like the extra aged oak, but it's not as punchy, and it you know, it doesn't have those dates, raisins, vanilla, like heavy wood that the PFG has. So if that's if you like PFG, Penelope Omega is not kind of an equal. It's not. You know, it's not going to be it. Go get a Peerless Double Oak. Go get a Copper and Cask Double Oak 8-year. That kind of stuff is going to be more in line with the Bombergers PFG and probably better, to be honest, and cheaper and more available than Bombergers PFG. But if you can find a Penelope Omega and you want, like, you know, some good aged bourbon with a little bit of French oak on the end, that ain't a bad pour. And it's a better price than the Bomberger. So I'm going to give the win tonight to the Penelope Omega. And I guess I'm going to bump it up to an A- because it beat the Bombergers PFG. I gave the Bombergers like a B+ or an A, you know, somewhere in there. So I'm going to Penelope Omega is good. It's better than Bombergers PFG to me by a little bit, but they are vastly different. Just know that. Hold on to your fucking socks. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B525 11 years 6 month 126.2 of goodness from Heaven Hill in the clear. What's this price, everybody? Say it with me. 75 fucking doll hairs. Okay. Barrel proof, color, nice and dark. Penelope Omega, significantly lighter. Heaven Hill, 11.5-year-old on the nose. Damn, does that smell oaky. This has a red fruit to it, though. This is so funny. These are like, damn, if these ain't close. Gosh, like one of these is finished in French oak. Like, I'm not getting it. Just a subtle fruit, like 3 years in the French oak, and like, was it in a cellar? Was it in a freezer? Like, I don't. It's not imparting a lot on the Penelope. There's a nice fruit note to it that is well integrated on the nose. It's the legendary barrel proof sharper. It's sharper to the nostrils. It's got the oak. It's got a red fruit too, but it's not quite as. It's a close nose, tied. Legendary B525 down the hatch. Oh, it's proofier. Well, it's proofier. It's oakier. It's got some like sharper red fruit to it. Man. The Penelope Omega just drinks easier and is tasting sweeter. A little more candy-like red fruit. It has the same amount of oak. A little more candy-like red fruit. I don't know. Shockingly, I might very minutely tonight prefer the Penelope Omega, but $75 $130, not that far apart. So that's a slight nail in the coffin for the Penelope Omega. Something like that. Now, I originally brought this to compare tonight, but we're not going to do it because this compares more with the Bombergers PFG. The Penelope Omega doesn't, it just drinks like a Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B525 with like a softer, sweeter red fruit note, even though B525 has a red fruit note. So like, I don't know. This comparison is going to be about the same as the Bombergers PFG versus the Penelope Omega. And again, this is cheaper, right? So, not finished in French oak, but if you want double oak, go this. Alright, last comparison tonight. 11-year-old Beam, not finishing anything. Hardin's Creek, Vial, Warehouse G. $150 here is a bottle, so more expensive than the Penelope Omega, must say. Hate to see that 700ml bottle. Ooh, like it hurts my soul to talk about just the fact that Penelope Omega is not a bad value, and Penelope's always been a bad value generally. Interesting that they did Heaven Hill though this year. The Owl, Beam, Hardin's Creek, Warehouse G, the Owl on the nose. Damn, is that the best kind of oak that we've smelled tonight? Oh, that smells better. That smells, god damn it, that's a rich old Beam oak. Oh yeah. I prefer the Hardin's Creek Owl. Also 11 years old, that's why I did this comparison. 11 years old. Hardin's Creek the Owl down the hatch. Oh, holy shit. Oh. Just that sweet oak, leather, tobacco, caramel. Delicious. Penelope Omega down the hatch. Not as sweet as the Hardin's Creek Owl. And the Owl's not the sweetest of the three. There's the mushroom and the beaver. Penelope's still good though. So I'm gonna. Penelope keeps moving up. A. Penelope's an A. Penelope Omega's an A. The price is fair. $130. I'm fine with it. Buy it. It's pretty damn good. Is it the best thing around? No. Keep in mind it also is. It's Heaven fucking Hill. It's not MGP. The French oak barrels though don't add much to this. Like a touch of fruit and that's it. And to be finished for 3 years in a French oak barrel, I just feel like there should be more there. But then it's been competing well, so I'm not going to complain about it. It's worth a buy. If you see it, pick it up. Do not surprisingly expect this to be a good competitor to the Bombergers PFG, although both are finished in a tight grain French oak barrel, are lower proofs. So this one being 109.8, this one's a higher proof than the Bombergers, but they're just not that identical. Very different, surprisingly. Probably equally as good, but the Bombergers is more, so fuck that. You know what I mean? And go for this instead. And if you want what the Bombergers is giving you, just go buy a Peerless Double Oak, and that's way cheaper anyway than both, and you got that covered. So if you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Have a good evening, everybody.